Last time on Saving 73 JPEGs I Desperately Need, the computer assigned Carrot to give the 4 player characters the mission to retrieve the data core and a specific server from the server room and bring them back to the briefing room. The rewards were 1,000 XP points each and 1 extra clone for the most valuable troubleshooter. There were a bunch of achievements and they got 2 of them. There were, however, some conflicting requests that various other characters made. The Illuminati had Bigzo ask Squick to work with the Illuminati and A to steal the nerve cluster. Death Leopard had Pleat ask A to work with the Illuminati and Squick to steal the nerve cluster and to betray them to take it just for Death Leopard. Pleat later asked Squick and A to make decoy data core to trick the computer and Carrot into thinking the mission was complete. And Carrot asked QWERTY to report any funny business directly to her rather than to computer, and she'll give an extra 100 XP points. This time on the show, I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet.
Stay tuned.
You hear the narrator being like black bagged.
This information is higher than your clearance.
Yeah, no, the narrator was actually only yellow security clearance, and that was like ultraviolet level clear. Like there was a lot of plot important information in it now. When we left you last, you were all going down a ladder. Currently, A has the shop vac on their back, and they are on Edward's back. So, just
I ain't got no legs.
Double backpack.
A very heavy daisy chain of just like 2 people and a large piece of equipment.
I thought we abandoned the vac.
You abandoned the vac on the floor briefly.
Okay.
We picked it back up, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You can leave it there if you'd like, but
It's not up to me.
I want it. Mine.
What was that, Kory?
I want it.
Great. We'll just say you have it. I think that's fine. And Squick, you had the enormous fan from Coolbot 73 that you like unbolted. So I'm going to say what I think you'll probably have to do is just like throw it down this hole. I will say it's a pretty far fall, but it is like a very heavy industrial fan. It's going to be fine. So we hear this industrial fan sort of just careen through the air. Like you don't usually hear the but you do hear that this time, and you can see it's completely fine. There's just like a large dust cloud that's sort of slowly settling under it as you begin climbing down this actually fairly steep ladder. What you are seeing as you're climbing down this ladder, first of all, the dead zone that you were in, it's no longer dead. You get your Wi-Fi back, and elements from your HUDs, which had sort of like frozen or not been updating actively, are starting to update again, which is how you're able to tell. So like, I don't know, maybe the ambient temperature, like it's able to tell you what it is again, or, things like that. The clock actually goes forward. I think a lot of things just completely pause when there's no Wi-Fi, because without Wi-Fi, nothing computer related happens at all. So as you are climbing down this very, very steep ladder, you see sort of hanging in the air by these broom threads, sort of like a stack of servers that didn't completely shear off and fall to the ground. There's probably like 15 or 20 of them hanging in the air, just sort of very gently swaying. It's been a couple hours, so the damage is done and the dust has settled. So that's what you see in the air is those. You were looking at this map that was on your HUDs, and the line, just as it went directly up to where the nerve cluster was, also goes directly sort of diagonally down to somewhere near the floor. You basically see a big old pile of like, these servers are sort of imagine... I mean, you've seen a server rack before. It's like that, basically a bunch of like very, very short, wide, deep rectangular boxes with, inputs, buttons, screens. And you basically see a big pile of them, many of which are just completely shattered. And the line, you're sort of looking, if you're looking down this ladder, you sort of see, oh, there's one of them like maybe beneath the top of the pile that it is pointing towards. So whatever data you gave was able to triangulate theoretically the server that you're supposed to get. Now, as you are climbing down this ladder, something does happen. I will say that, Kory, in your ear, you hear a familiar voice from someone who is nowhere near you, who is far beneath you on the ladder, but in your ear as if the computer is speaking to you.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Hello.
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 Don't panic. I'm not a threat. I just want to do a quick trade.
A trade? A trade about what?
Oh.
Hello?
Can you plug me into the server?
Okay, and who are you?
Don't panic. I'm not a threat. I just want to do a quick trade.
A trade? Okay, what happens if I put you on the server?
You get anonymity.
Anonymity. Anonymity?
It's a really hard word to say.
Anonymity.
Anonymity from what?
Computer.
From the computer?
Computer.
Oh, anonymity from computer. Interesting. Huh, okay. What happens if I put it in the server?
I can live.
You can live? Okay. All right, little thing.
You will.
Let me think about it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, don't be sad. Don't be sad. Okay, I'll do it. Yay! Okay.
Excited.
Okay.
And now for your special present. Allow me to explain anonymity. In this, you can turn on your Tunnel Head app, if you have it, which I will make sure you do. And then you will disappear from the grid. A computer will not be able to see you or survey you. You will be in a ghost mode. You can only be seen by other clones' biological eyes. Here's the hard part. You need to be very careful. If you die, you don't retain this power.
I see. Okay.
Be really careful, okay? Make sure
Okay.
you eat lots of carrots and peas and veggies.
Okay, I promise I'll do that.
Yay!
Yay!
Cool. All right. So I don't need to do the daisy chain that I thought I was going to do, at least yet. Yeah. So, okay. That's, you have that conversation and you can do with that what you would like. So you all continue down the ladder and Kory, are you going to do anything other than just continue along the path?
I'm going to continue along the path, and I'm going to keep my eye out for any place I can put this in the server.
Cool. Sounds great. What I will say is this, what this strange voice asked you to do was to plug your core tech into the server, which you know that everyone's core tech does have a port on it that you can plug basically an Ethernet cable into to do diagnostics. So it's basically like a port like on the back of your head. You can just plug a cable into it and plug it into the server, and presumably that is all that needs to happen. So there you go. If your next mission, if you choose to do it or not. Okay. So, you all continue down the ladder, and, as you are continuing down, things come into focus more. You see, a pile of broken brooms, which were all abandoned. And you do see kind of a pile of corpses, Squick, many of which you know, and one of which is yours, and also one of which is Kory's. Amidst this pile of servers that you were both, on when it collapsed. So you do see that sort of grim pile of, well, hey, they all had other clones, hopefully. At least you did.
I think the second that I see the clones, I burst out into the prayer that my first church of Jerkis are so famous for, to honor the dead clones. So just a taste. Please imagine this in a large echo chamber, just it's just a lot of wailing.
Was that the yeah. Okay, great. What song is that?
It's just, but it's a little bit mournful and sad. I think Edward is holding back
Irish
tears.
funeral version of that song. You can all hear bagpipes sort of faintly playing in your ears.
Yeah.
Great. So this very mournful prayer, and mournful and very tasteless prayer, is being sung over a pile of corpses and servers. As you get to the ground, and what you see right when you get to the ground is you actually see someone in the doorway, which has just been cleared out. The original doorway that was the door that Kory you went through earlier. And that Squick you went through whenever you went to work. And who you see in the doorway is familiar to A and Kory. I think you both would probably know this person. I will let you decide if you've met him. He is a very, very large, bodybuilder-esque, and I mean like toned and not strong toned, very, very big pecs, hairy chest, has several buttons of his green jumpsuit unbuttoned, and you can see in your HUD that this is Royo G Baff 7, and Royo is he is essentially the governor of what was the BDE sector, because it's a lesser area. Usually someone higher up would be in charge, but because of bureaucracy, he basically wrestled his way into being charge of it as someone in green security. He has a sort of a jawline beard. It's black and pointed at the chin, and I mean he's basically he's a big Chad, and he is well known, at least to those of you who would know him, as sort of a absentee but ruthless governor of this area, who basically delegates everything and is probably, at least stories tell, involved in a lot of other doings. So you see him, and he is actually just walking towards the doorway. And as he is walking out the door, he says to some figures on the other side of the door, "All right, you know what you're going to do?" And there, you hear a small crowd of people say, "Yes, sir." And then into the door filter 4 people you do know: Bigzo, Pleat, Dev, and Brap. That is Bigzo from the Illuminati, Pleat from the Death Leopard, and Dev and Brap, the 2 greasers who you encountered in the hallway earlier. They are all armed with red guns, and Dev, who seems to be in charge, says, "All right, troubleshooter squad, we're here to get the server, and that's what we're here for. All right. We got to get this. We got to do this mission. We got to do this mission for Royo and the computer. We got to, because we were just reassigned, and we are in big trouble if we don't. You got it, guys? You got it?" And they're all like, yeah, okay, great, whatever. And they are... you can actually see on your HUD, for some reason, a separate line from their map is now pointing towards the same server as the one that was on your map. What would you like to do?
I think we got to run to get it first.
Are we on the ground right now?
Yeah, you've just made it to the ground. And this server that your map is pointing to is under, it's near the top of, but under maybe a couple servers in a pile.
I could be the sacrificial lamb on this one with my shop vac.
I kind of
Worked last time.
turn my wind cannon into a cannon and fire it at them while someone makes a break for it.
I think we might want to distract them while somebody else goes looking for the actual server. But instead of sending one person who could possibly get killed, instead we try to maybe go on the charm offensive so that we can distract them for an extended period of time.
Well, I have a +5
and maybe
on
do
charm.
sneaky. Exactly.
And if I die, I get legs. It's a win-win. So I'm just saying.
I think that's a good point.
I could just roll on the shop vac and just.
Because I think that maybe if A and I go distract, because I have A, terrible stealth, B, I'm incredibly tall in a bright red duster. They're going to see me digging through something. Plus, I'm wearing a bright red duster. They can't keep their eyes off me. So I think if A and I go on some distraction charm offensive, while you guys use your nimbleness and knowledge of this area, you can find it and sneak out and then let us know that you got it and we'll meet you at the place. Then they'll start looking for it in that place on the map because their map's not going to change.
Well,
That's pretty sneaky.
If the computer knows exactly what server to look for, their computer server probably does too.
Oh yeah, you can see the maps have just what I will say is you basically are seeing their map point towards the same thing. And it seems like, and particularly from what they said, that perhaps you are on the same mission that has been given twice.
I think computer just cares about this job getting done and we're the team to do it.
It's got to be dirty pictures.
I agree. If anybody should be doing it, we should be doing it and not them.
We should be doing it. Absolutely. Praise computer.
Kory, you're very nimble. What if you get over there, get the server? I'm gonna rig this wind cannon just in case things go south. And I'm gonna point it at them, and then Edward and A, you can try to charm them.
All right.
Does it sound good? Party.
Party. How would you like us to do this, Ben?
Why don't we do the charming scene first, and then we can break back into whatever preparations are happening in the back.
So I believe A wants to be sat atop the vac, and I will push the vac and A towards this gang and yell at the top of my lungs, "Brothers and sisters and dear computer, what pleasure to see you."
And Dev sort of looks up while you were sort of having this conversation. They didn't notice you at all. And they had sort of made their way to this pile, and they're just sort of they're sort of looking at it, and they're all just, their hands are all on their hips, and they're like, And Dev is like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing here?"
Nothing.
You doing nothing?
I don't think you're here, Kory.
Oh yeah, I'm gone.
Hey, it's you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Baby. We are here spreading the good word of our dear computer.
Are you? Wait, hold on. Did they send you? I see. Are you following a map? You're following a map, yeah?
What's a map?
You see that line from you to where we're going? Yeah, and from the line from us from where to where we're going? Yeah, are we following the same map? I think we're following the same map. Did the computer send you to preach to us while we're getting this server?
Yes.
We're not a threat. I don't know if you can tell. I don't have legs. We're here on another path.
On a
What happened to your
mission.
legs?
A
What happened to your
preaching mission.
legs? Are you okay?
I found the word of computer and it spoke to me.
All right. If either of you wants to help Please, because we don't know what we're doing here. And
We
you
need
see
your help.
in the background, Pleat and Bigzo have just started like futilely pushing at this this pile of servers, and you see just like a lot of them collapse, and none of them are even the right area.
I think that for us to really have a truly effective moment here, we all need to hold hands and pray.
And Dev just gives the huge sigh and is like, all right, that's not half a bad idea. And comes, takes her hand.
Yes. Yes.
Question
Brother
before
and
we get
computer.
into this. Is it obvious if I have my little electric gloves on?
Why don't
Or
we roll
will they
something?
recognize that?
Why don't we roll some sort of stealthy roll to see if that's the tact you're taking here?
It could be a fashion statement.
Yeah, give me something stealthy.
Oh, good. I have 0 stealth.
Or we can justify something.
Intimidate?
Well, but if you want to be doing that,
I mean, this charm offensive is nice, but I'm going for like a fear boner.
okay, great, let's do it.
Great. All right. Let's see. Fear boner. 2.
Oh yeah, you got 2?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So you Dev comes over and grabs your hand. And as you grab her hand, your electric knuckles just like spark, sort of like a joy buzzer. Like not enough to hurt her. But she's like, all right, I get it. All right. Praise be the computer. All right. I get it. Hey, I don't want any funny business. We had funny business earlier. Earlier was my funny business quotient. I'm at work now.
Absolutely. We completely understand. And this spark of light from my compatriot in the light of the computer just shows that we are one with the computer. And it is holy and good to hold hands and pray. And the best way to pray is to close our eyes.
All right. I get closing the eyes. I get the mysticism shit. I love it. I'm loving it. But I was always taught praxis. So I'm just trying to figure out how when we close our eyes, we can then open them and get the server from under that pile.
You need to see with your inner eye. You're looking at it all wrong.
100%.
My
So
inner
smart.
eye.
The eye
All right.
connected to the computer.
All right. My computer. Wait. There's an eye connected to the computer. What?
We had an update for this.
Yeah.
There's an update for this? There's an update for this?
Such a hard
And we
time.
flash over
No wonder.
to Kory and Squick in the back line. What are y'all doing while this distraction is happening?
I'm desperately trying to find the right server. I mean, we sort of know where it is, but I gotta like dig through it, right? I gotta dig through other things to find it.
Yeah. So what you see is this line on your HUD, basically in AR, is pointing towards. There's a pile of servers, and it's like going inside the pile.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you know the direction it is in this pile. You just don't know like how far into the pile it is. Mm-hmm. It could be right near the top. It could be all the way at the bottom. You don't know yet. You got to dig basically. And these are like huge, heavy things. I would say if you're looking at them, you would guess that probably 2 people could lift one together. But it's not something that one person could do.
Okay. Can we use the fan to? I don't know.
I really want to overclock this and turn it into a cannon, though. But maybe I can put a timer on it, or like a remote activation.
So invested in this cannon idea. Such deep, thorough investment.
This is. I'm all the way down for this.
Can I use operate and mechanics to overclock this and give it a remote start?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's 7 plus the computer die.
Uh-huh.
Oh, big money. Okay, I have 3 successes right now, but 1 die is actually on side because it landed on one of my chords. Do you mind if I re-roll that one?
That's fine. If you have 3 so far, though.
I have 3 so far. And a 4th.
Okay, you have a
And
4th.
no computer die popped up.
Yeah, so you've been tinkering with this fan as you've been like dragging it across the floor. There is like a pretty big dent on the the casing outside the fan that keeps the blades. Yeah, there's a pretty big dent on it, but it's fine. Yeah. This is a worn industrial object. So you get into the circuitry of it. There is a little computer panel. You sort of like open that up, and you're basically just like using the buttons behind the panel to basically reset it, and then set it to just blow on a timer for however long you wanted to. How long do you want it to time for?
Can I give it a remote starter and just activate it when I want to, or do we think a timer is the way to go?
Whichever way you want. With 4, I will let you do either.
Let's go for a remote starter, but I want to aim it I want to aim it kind of just where Edward and A and everyone is grouped. I'll say something. Don't worry about it. You can't hear this. It doesn't sound like
okay.
But, and
smells like betrayal.
I want to head over with Kory as sneakily as I can, since we figure out that this is a 2-person job.
Great. So you have set this, and you tie it. You basically use the thing behind the panel to tie your Cortec to it, so that you have a little box on your HUD that you can just sort of trigger whenever you need. Great. And yeah, Kory, do you want to take the reins for going over and?
Yeah. So,
and sorry, quick, did you tell Kory this?
It's all set up, okay? We just got to sneak over there, but if things go sideways, this air cannon will shoot directly over there. We'll scatter them at the very least. It'll be like bowling. I saw a hollow vid about bowling once. I think it'll be like that.
Bowling.
Yeah, there's pins, and you throw a big thing, and then it makes them explode. Well, kind of. Without
You're
any
exploding
fire.
pins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to just wreck on that. No, absolutely, bowling pins explode in this world.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why you wouldn't want to explode writing utensils, but good. That's good. All right. So let's try and go through this systematically. We're going to go one by one. Let's lift the ones off the top, and then we'll just toss them to the side. Quietly. Just like a little boop, boop.
Cool. Do you want to, Kory, would you like to do a like strength related roll to do that? And since Squig, I presume you are helping them, Kory, I will give you, let's say, 1 more to your dice pool for the top of this.
So I guess I'll go with athletics and violence. Yeah, because there's both.
This is powerlifting.
Yeah. 1 success.
1 success. All right. What I will say is you together, you get this up and you're able to sort of slide it out of the way very methodically. And it takes you a little bit of time. And what you see is that there is another server, there's sort of 2 servers dovetailing into each other. You look into the like little gap between them as they're like intersecting, and you can actually see the like ball at the end of the line beneath these 2. So if you're able to get these 2 out, that's the server you need, the one right under them.
Okay, awesome. So should we roll again to try and do it?
Yeah. Do you want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
Great. What I will say is this one's going to be a little harder because it's 2 of them, and you're either moving 2 or you're moving 1, and 1 slides out of the way. Anyway, we'll role play exactly what happens, but I'm going to give you another 1 in your dice pool because of the adrenaline you get when you see the goal coming.
Okay. 3.
3. Great. Okay. So here's what happens with the 3.
Oh, sorry, 4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
4.
That actually does change things. Okay, great. So You, Kory, you figure out like, okay, what we're going to do, Squick, is we are going to like pick up this server, then like toss the other one slightly out of the way with it by like pushing the corner onto the other one, which will then free this other one. And then we can move it out of the way. So you pick it up. The other one immediately starts to slide a lot faster than you thought. You, with your foot, like grab this server. It stops moving. It's very heavy. You're in perfect sync. Squick, you do the same thing, and you both kick this other server, which like slides down the pile and makes a huge crash. But the server you're holding is fine. You just sort of toss it out of the way, and right on top of the pile is the server you needed, which, great, there it is. This crash, however, has alerted Bigzo and Pleat, who were sort of elsewhere in this pile of servers, and were sort of trying to figure out how to get to the top. And then they see also this ball, and they start approaching you. And you hear Bigzo from afar being like, "Hey, is that the server?"
No, it's not.
please roll something for that.
Okay. I'm gonna go with bluff.
Yep.
And chutzpah, I guess.
Yep, that's great. That's exactly right.
Oh boy. Let's see. Come on. Oh, look at that. I got 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. So here's the thing with 2 successes. Bigzo is like, wait, it's not. And then he sort of turns around and starts like walking somewhere else. And then Pleat grabs him and is like, "Oi, come on. And Bigzo's like, "Hey, no, I mean, Kory wouldn't lie to us. Come on. I mean, hey, they're our friend. Hey. And then they're sort of having this little mini argument, giving you a little bit of time.
Okay. Well, then let's quickly try and see if we can grab that ball.
Is it large like the other servers were, or is it smaller? Or
Same size.
Same size.
Yeah. It is just one of these big servers.
I'm just not a very athletic person unless we're throwing things.
Well, here's what I will say. I don't need you to roll to pick it up. You pick it up. What do you want to do?
I want to try and insert my thingy into the thingy.
Great. I will just let you do that. You do insert there is a Ethernet cable hanging off the server already. I mean, there's a couple hanging off of it because it was, plugged into a bunch of stuff. There's one that's intact. You just plug it right into your Cortec as you are doing this. Would you like to roll something stealthy to see if Squick finds out, or is it okay that Squick knows this with you?
Yeah, let's try and be stealthy about it.
Great.
So I'll do stealth and chutzpah.
Great.
1 success.
1 success. With 1 success, Squick sees you do that. So the 2 of you are carrying this server. Squick, you see Kory plug this Ethernet cable into the back of her head as you are sort of carrying this thing. Mm-hmm. Basically, you wouldn't maybe notice it, but she has to take a hand off of it to like put the cable on, and then like one corner kind of slacks for a second, and that's why you notice. And I think you're going backwards, so that's like also all you're really looking at. Okay, what do you do? And also just a reminder that like Pleat and Bigzo are gonna come towards you any second now.
Yeah. Kory, is it the right one?
Yes. It's absolutely the right one. Yep, exactly. I'm verifying that it's the right one, and it looks like it is the correct one.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah.
I want to shout to Edward and A to hit the deck.
Great. Oh, yeah, you firing this thing?
I want to.
Okay, you do that. Let's quickly just flashback to Edward A. Dev and Brap has joined you as well.
I'm fully in like a trance, like singing, just like screaming
Dev
at the
just
top of my
has-
lungs.
Brap is actually kind of like really into this, is like eyes closed, like really like closing them hard.
Just vibing.
Yeah. And Dev is sort of just like head in her hands, like, how am I gonna do this? They put me in charge. God, I'm on the line right here. As Squick, please roll something plausible for this attack.
Oh, yeah. So I think operate and mechanics is the way to go.
I think that's fine.
Great.
I would also say maybe violence, but
I don't have any violence.
I think in this one, because it's an attack, I'm gonna say probably violence.
Sure. Could we pretend I'm throwing air and throw and violence? No, that doesn't make sense. I'm pressing a
I actually will allow that.
Okay.
I will allow that.
Well, then with throw and violence, I have a note of 5
That's great. That's fine.
plus a computer die. Ooh, buddy. Wait, ones don't do anything in this, right?
No.
1 success.
One
Yeah.
success.
4 failures if one did anything. 5, actually.
All right. So you yell, hit the deck. So you yell, hit the deck, and all 4 of you here hit the deck. I was going to make you roll, but you here hit the deck, and Edward, I think you see this fan start and you know what's happening. And since you have everyone's hands, I think you probably just, group tackle.
I keep holding their hands.
Yep, group tackle. This fan blows over the 4 of you, now all on the ground, and hits another part of the pile of these servers. You have overclocked this fan a little too much, and when you did that earlier. And here's what happens: that pile of servers, it's just like. This fan is way stronger than you thought. And it basically, like the fan itself, because it's disconnected, just like flies to the other side of the room. The servers pile, like, it's like they got hit with like a fucking Kamehameha, right? Like they just like absolutely go like boom. They all scatter towards the wall. Some of them scatter in the direction of the pile you were just at, knocking an avalanche of servers, which start going towards Pleat and Bigzo, who basically like get tripped up by this avalanche of servers, and they're like riding on this avalanche. Which ends right at this big pack of the folks doing a religious ceremony. And everyone sort of gets up and dusts off, and they see you, Squick and Kory, just with the server, with this like blinking light on it that everyone is pointed towards. Everyone just sort of stops for a second, and everyone just is sort of looking at everyone else. Not knowing sort of what's about to happen. And you see hands go towards guns, and we are in combat.
God damn it.
Okay. I think our best option in the circle is to use A's power back, even though it's probably going to get us harmed.
I also have grenades.
Yeah, so here's let's do. Everyone say what you want to do. I will figure out from in this split second what each of you want to do, the order in which it happens. Some of which will cancel out others.
Edward, you would like my vacuum?
Yeah, I think that you are on top of your vacuum. I say we slam down that button so that the dust comes out, and I just push and you aim towards them. And then we'll go out of the circle because everyone's in a circle right now. And we just like go towards Kory and Squick, and you're just using that like a hose.
Okay, so Edward, you're
dust.
smashing that button. A, are you down? If that button is smashed, you are down. You're going to grab this thing and aim it towards everyone else.
Yeah, it's fine.
Kory, I'm wondering since this server is really like valuable, if we should put it down and get behind it, because they probably won't shoot it, right? Maybe, I don't know. And then shoot around it at them.
Can we get another server and like put it in front of our server? Or is that's too much work?
I will say this. There is probably another server near you. That would be your entire action for this round of combat.
Okay.
Would be propping that up.
Let's just hide I think we'll follow your plan. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So Squick, you're dropping the server and shooting.
Put one side down and then fire it from behind.
Okay. And you both want to do that?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Here's what happens. Edward smashes the button of this vacuum and A realizes what is going on. And they take the cone of it and aim it directly at the other 4 people who are in this big line, who are all reaching for their guns. This cloud of awful silica dust sprays on them very fast and very, very forcefully, because remember, you did suck up an entire bathroom's worth of shit. And they are all sort of like coughing and hacking. However, Dev and Brap, who are sort of, they're gun boys. They have both grabbed their guns, and they are both actually firing out of this cloud that they're in. They, however, are in, a shitty cloud. And so the laser blasts, basically one of them was, Dev was going to fire right at you, Edward. And the blast just like wings your hair. And then Brap was going to fire at the 2 of you, Squick and Kory, but as he gets his laser bolt in place, he was gonna like hit one of you right between the eyes. You drop this server and drop behind it. It basically the bolt smashes right into the server right as you are dropping it and just shatters the like plastic casing off of the bottom. The 2 of you are behind it. And the 2 of you fire your guns into what is now this cloud of gas. What I will say is one of them appears to just go through this cloud and hit against the back wall. The other one does hit someone, and you hear, "Oh, ow, oh man, ow, oh, ow." As Bigzo has been hit somewhere with a laser blast.
That was probably you, right?
You can't tell which one it was. It was too
I'm
fast.
Pretty bad at guns, so it probably wasn't. I wouldn't shoot Big Fan. I think.
This is the death by firing squad where they like give one person like a blank, so it's like, oh, I had the blank, right? I can feel better about this. Now, some people who you didn't realize would be in this combat are suddenly in this combat, because as this combat begins, from both the ladder you came down and the door you came through come 2 huge squads of Reds. It's like 15 people in each squad.
What?
They're all wearing red jumpsuits. They do not have guns. They have brooms. They all have brooms. Quality 1 brooms. Some of them appear to have been promoted. They're your former coworkers. Many of them are people you don't know. However, I will say, you do recognize the squad coming down the ladder. They are all members of Death Leopard. You can tell because they're all wearing their jumpsuits, but under their jumpsuits, they have band t-shirts on. And these are band t-shirts from sort of various years based on how long they've been in the Death Leopards. So, a lot of them have year 214 tour shirts, which are just, like they're brand new. You can see they're still like, they're barely washed. They're still like shining white. There's no like fading until slightly like yellow on them. There are a couple of people near the back. They are still red clearance, but they've got sort of more faded year 214 shirts. And there's, they've been around for a while. And there's one guy in the back, just like gray hair, like one of the very few old clones you've ever seen. Just like his jumpsuit's just like cut off at the top. He's got like a tied off band shirt from year 214. And that's like the good year. That was the good tour. Yeah. It's definitely.
But like a high crop top.
It's a high crop top, but it's also like tied off. Yeah, it's like one of those. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's like the old punk rocker vibe. So anyway, that's the crowd coming down the stairs. They all have brooms, and they all start furiously sweeping. And you hear over the loudspeaker, the computer's voice says, "Cleaning teams A and B, have a great time." And they just start sweeping up this even larger cloud of dust that sort of starts to mix with this silica cloud. And that is what happens in this round. What would you like to do in the next round of combat?
I think now is actually the time to carry a server in front of our server, because I feel like if it takes another hit, it's going to fuck it up.
Cool. So that's going to be your entire, it will drag another server for protection. Mm-hmm. Great.
Okay. How close are cleaning teams A and B to me?
You are nearer to the doorway. To this, the doorway you used to come in through for work. And that is your coworkers coming in. So they are pretty close to you. Team B is on the other side of the room, coming down the ladder.
I would like to pop out from behind this server, holster my gun, brandish my quality 2 broom, and say, "Coworkers, these traitors," and point towards the cloud, not towards A and Edward, but towards the cloud. "These traitors are making a mess for you to clean up. And I think we should clean them up."
Great. Okay. Yep. That's a free action. What are the other two of you going to do during this combat round?
What are you thinking, A?
I want to use a grenade. I don't know how, but I want to blow some shit up. If there's,
just use it. You could just use it.
I'm just saying.
I think you are still probably on the ground also.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just doing like an army crawl.
I think I'll pick up A and put them on top of the vac.
Okay, great.
So that I can like move the vac and A together towards Squick and QWERTY.
Okay, so that can be your action for this round. And A, you want to use a grenade?
Towards the cloud with the grenade. I can blow all of them up and potentially dispose my own corpse.
But you're already next to the cloud.
Good.
If you throw a grenade this round, it'll be the closest.
And so you're throwing the grenade at who?
Or do you want to carry the grenade?
I want to carry it.
You have a death wish, A. You want new legs.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, when clones are possible, I think you get a little less flighty.
I think this is a win-win. They die, the room gets clean. Everybody.
In that case, then I think that I'm going to pick up A and throw them into the cloud.
We're not there yet. That'll be next round. But so and where are you running? You're running towards the 4. Are you trying to like bulldoze the 4 people in the cloud? So Edward, you're putting A on the vac and you're pushing the vac. Where are you pushing the vac?
Towards Squick and QWERTY.
Towards Squick and QWERTY. Got it.
That was my original intention.
Okay, great. Sorry. And you're just getting a grenade ready.
Yeah.
You're not going to throw it you're not going to like drop it where the 4 people in the cloud are.
That could be fun. Yeah, we'll drop it.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Just sprinkle a little grenade.
Sprinkle of grenade.
Gunpowder Bae.
Okay, here's what happens. So, QWERTY, you get the bright idea to get the second server that you had before to get the second server to protect the first server. So you are sort of methodically dragging the server, like it's screeching on the ground, like, and it's taking a while. We'll get back to you. Edward, you foist A up, plop them on the shop vac and just start rolling towards your teammates. You take a grenade out, take the pin out, and just like toss it over your shoulder into this cloud. Would you like to say something cool?
In the words of our dear Lord Computer.
And the grenade explodes. However, right before that grenade explodes, like as it just tinks on the ground, Dev and Brap emerge from this cloud running with guns blazing. Dev is going to shoot right at you, and is unfortunately going to get you right in the back.
You get what you want.
I got
And there's so that's where you are. Brap is gonna shoot towards Edward, but Edward, you are sort of moving fast enough, and with this big vacuum that Brap hits the vacuum. And an enormous cloud of this dust starts bursting out of it, which you are caught in. So you, I'm going to say, are going to take 2 levels of damage. So you are injured right now.
I'm injured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you are, you're dead. We'll get you in a bit. Yeah, Edward, you are injured by this cloud. The vacuum has completely exploded. Meanwhile, Bigzo and Pleat started running out the other side. They are caught by this explosion and they're also pretty badly hurt. The explosion does just like jib Dev and Brap. They're dead. Bigzo has an arm around Pleat because he is missing a leg. So they are hit and injured even further. So Bigzo is pretty maimed. Pleat is pretty injured. They take out their guns as they're running away and getting injured, and they do both fire. Kory, you finished dragging the server. They both fire their guns, and the bolts smash directly into the server, which has been a perfect shield. So way to go. You are fine. The second server itself is pretty fucked up, but it's still, it could maybe take another hit. Squick, while all this is happening, all this hyper violence is happening. You sort of go up to a crowd of mostly your coworkers, some people you don't know, but it seems like they all might be, associated with each other for some reason, perhaps other than just being a team. And you give this impassioned speech, and they all just sort of look at you, and like one of them walks over to you and is like, we're on the same side, right, dude?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool.
And we need to clean up those guys.
Wait. So you mean the other crew? The leopards are betraying us?
Yes.
Fuck, let's go! And this person like rips their jumpsuit off, and there's Illuminati robes under. And by the way, you did notice that all of these people did look kind of diped up, and they were kind of diped up because they were all wearing Illuminati robes under their jumpsuits, which they all rip off, and now they're all wearing these Illuminati robes. They like throw their hoods up as they like these like weird wizard hoods as they like start. I think basically there's a like costume store like with stars on them, right? Like blue velvet with stars on them. Yeah, like as they run towards Squad B, which is just getting down to the bottom of the ladder. Squad B had sort of started, a couple of them were like pretending to clean, while a number of the others were like starting to run towards Kory, you in this server. That Squick is just abandoned. However, the squad of Illuminati goons, it's like a fist fight now. They all have brooms. Like some of them are just punching each other. Some of them are hitting each other with the handles of these plastic brooms and not doing any damage at all. And just one leopard seems to escape the fray and is still headed towards you, Kory. What would y'all like to do now in the next round of combat? So to just give you the status of all of your enemies. The status of you is Edward, you are pretty badly hurt by this silica dust. Kory, you are sheltered behind the server. You got a hole in you, but you're fine. And Squick, you are unharmed at present for some amazing reason. the crowds are fighting. There's one leopard headed towards you. Dev and Brap are dead. Bigzo and Pleat are retreating, guns still pointed towards you.
I'd like to take aim at the leopard that's heading toward Kory.
You're going to shoot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to like pick up one of the lapels of my duster and cover my like mouth and nose and just keep running straight.
And you're running for Kory?
Yeah.
Great.
Or to Squick, wherever the standing server is, so that I can like get behind it.
That Kory has the server, both servers.
Okay. Then yeah, the QWERTY.
I don't know. Can I just hide? I just want to hide.
Yeah, totally.
I just feel like hiding inside. So I'm going to hide.
Cool. Okay. All right. Todd, can you give me a roll for that shot? Because the leopard's pretty far away.
Yeah. So my gun skill is crap. It's -5. And then
This is the old punk, by the way, who's coming towards you.
oh no, I'm gonna shoot the old punk. So I'm gonna do -5, and then I want to think about where I'm shooting him because it's a distance. So I want to have some trigonometry appear before my eyes as I'm like getting ready to fire. So using brains and the -5 brings me to -4 plus the computer die. And with a negative node, I subtract any not successes from the total successes,
That is
except
right.
the computer die, or
The
including
computer die doesn't count for anything except for the computer talking to you. Yeah.
Well, they're all failures. So
Great.
No.
that's that.
By the way, I've given the old punk a name. His name is Rick R. Clash 4.
Love the patch.
Okay, here's what happens. Squick, you get your gun out and you shoot in Rick's direction and you just completely miss.
Yep.
You miss so hard that like you basically like take your gun out and you like shoot it. You know when you're like trying to bowl and you like just don't let go of the ball and then you like throw it up and back. You do that but with your gun, basically. Yeah, like you shoot behind you and it just like does nothing. Edward, you just book it right for QWERTY. QWERTY, you are basically just sheltering under the server, like figuring out what to do. I think you like unplug yourself from it for extra nimbleness. Edward, you basically book it right for QWERTY. And you just like do a slide right past these two servers and like get right next to her. So the two of you are now together and can hatch a plan together. I think you both probably also grab the first server, like getting ready to do whatever you need, get out of here. Rick does in fact make it also to the two of you. He's not going for the server though. He's like, hey, you got the cluster? And QWERTY, I believe you had the cluster, right?
Yes,
I think it's
believe I
probably
do.
just like tied to a belt loop or something. Given it's so big. And he's like, hey, it's a cluster. And he like starts tug of warring the cluster.
Oh no.
And Pleat and Bigzo is just like falling over. Pleat basically like fires her gun as well. And it smashes into that first server again, which completely breaks. Next round.
I think I want to kick him to get him off of my cluster.
Cool.
Who's still up?
The three of you are all alive except for A. Rick is tug of warring for the cluster. And Pleat has been firing at you from a very far distance.
Okay, I want to kind of do that cowboy western thing where I like get up on
With your rifle?
With my rifle and just aim right between their eyes.
Okay, great. All right. And Squick, what are you doing?
Having realized that I'm a better thrower than I am a gunslinger, I want to take out my multi-tool wrench I want to like whip it out real, like I'm untethering it from my belt, and I'm like making the wrench part come out, and then I want to just huck it at Rick.
All right. I actually think I am going to want to roll from all three of you on these things.
All right. I'm going to use violence and athletics.
Great.
I'm going to use violence and guns.
Yep.
I'll use violence and throw.
Yep.
1 success.
Okay.
4 successes.
Ooh.
And I've got a note of 5.
Please get a success, Todd.
3 successes.
All right. All right.
Whap, whap, whap.
Okay, here's what happens. Kory, you're done with the shit of today. And absolutely just like all the rage of all the bureaucratic nonsense you've had to go through to get here. And you have your hands on both targets. And this old punk, clearly in a secret society, clearly just flaunting the rules, is trying to take it from you. So you just do like, what kind of kick would you like to do?
I'm going to do the ones where you like walk up their face basically with just the kick.
I will let you do that for 4 successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You basically just walk up this guy's body and just like heel fully like from the back, like kick his head.
Yeah.
And he just like did not see this coming, like was just here to mosh basically and like grab this thing and go. And just absolutely like wings it, like smacks his head on the ground, is like, oh man. And then just as that happens, a multi-tool just like from nowhere, like flings right over your head, Kory, and then falls directly onto his. He is unconscious. Unconscious and like, yeah, he's not. He's out.
Oh my god.
So bye, Rick. We made you for this scenario, and you're dead. We made you up on the spot, and you're dead. Meanwhile, Edward, you sort of like take your rifle out, do a careful aim. You fire right towards Pleat, and who is also firing. What I will say is this: your bolt goes right over her shoulder, spooking her, and she like fires into the air as she falls over backwards. All right. I think I'm going to maybe say we can get out of combat, knowing that Pleat is your only combatant, but you can try to escape. If that makes sense to all of y'all.
Yeah.
Unless you want to double tap Pleat. Like,
I feel like if anyone should double tap Pleat, it would have been A or Kory, who both had personal vendettas against Pleat. And as a believer in the love of computer, I don't choose violence. I'm forced into it.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna yeah, let's run away. Let's pick up this server.
Yeah, I've got other plans for Pleat later, so I'm gonna go.
This rolls. Okay, great. So Edward and Kory, you got this server together. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. The two of you have this, and it's pretty. It's a very heavy object, but like not heavy enough that you can't like lightly, move pretty fast, like a speed walk with it. Squick, you join up too as you sort of exit this door. The computer rings in all 4 of your ears and is like, "Hey, you got it! Hey! You're not going up the ladder. You need another map? I can make another map. I shouldn't have even asked. I'm just gonna make the other map. Oh man. Oh, sometimes I crack me up. And then all of your HUDs go absolutely wild. Basically, you see like lines go like in all directions, like weird spirals. But then like they sort of like the lines are moving and changing and disappearing and appearing. And then finally it does become one sort of path that takes you through like, basically you're going to have to go down a bunch of stairs and then down, through a couple hallways back to the briefing room. But it's like a loop, but a straight enough shot that you're going to be fine. So you head down this pathway. You look over your shoulders as you're exiting, and Pleat sort of like is running towards you all. But then you through a chute sort of fall directly in line with your teammates and start running with them in your fifth clone, your fifth body. And Pleat just sends you a text message and is like, I swear to God, if you don't do it, I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God.
I swear to God.
And you see her like just hands on hips, like mad, like really mad. And like, remember that she's extremely short. Like this short child, like very mad at you, and like turns around and goes to attend to Bigzo. And yeah, so you are home free. Basically you can all sort of very, very speedily go through this path back to the briefing room. Does anyone want to do anything before we get to the briefing room?
No, I don't think there's anything I could do stealthily, so no.
Cool. You could send messages. Okay.
I think I want to send a message to the computer about the fights that I've been in today.
To the computer?
And all the people I fought with today.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. It's basically just like a full accounting of who has done what. Mm-hmm. And I presume your suspicions of secret society membership and all of that?
Yeah.
Great. Here's a question. Does, like, you're including those two crews, yeah?
The crews?
The broom crews?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Can you roll something like basically memory related, just to like to see how good your notes were, how detailed your notes were?
Okay, I guess I'll do brains and psychology, alpha complex.
I think that's great. I would let you do either of those. That's fine.
Okay, I'll do alpha complex and brains.
Because I think you're going through like personnel databases and
yeah. 2 successes and the computer die.
Great. Okay. Yeah. That you get and the computer die. Interesting. So mark off a point of moxie. As you fire this message off, the computer immediately comes into your Cortec and is like, hey, this is a good list. Wow, it's a big list. Whoa, this is a big list. And you all see on your screens, your HUDs, the achievement for, because we had that, right? Eliminate the terrorists trying to steal the nerve cluster. You see on all of your HUDs that that achievement has been marked off. And what I will say is you don't know whose it is, except for Kory. You do see your experience points go up.
I died.
And
fuck.
I think you can also assume that perhaps right as Kory sent that message, the last of the Illuminati and Death Leopard people killed each other with the plastic brooms that they had. So it sort of just took a little, a couple more minutes for that to finish. And the computer's like, this is a very comprehensive list. I just want to compliment you on that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, computer. I do it all for you.
Of course. Hey, you're an INSEC, yeah? Yeah, you're INSEC? I know this. I run INSEC.
INSEC? Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm part of INSEC.
In INSEC, you're going to get promotion. So just, Thank
you. Thank you so much, computer.
I really, hey, I gotta say, a lot of insect people, they get a little factional. They don't report things to me. They report things to each other, to sort of, get more points for themselves. You're doing the right thing.
Thank you, computer. Cool. I believe I am.
Kory, thank you. Kory?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kory, thank you.
No. Thank you, computer.
No, Kory, thank you.
No. All thanks to you.
Okay, I accept them. Thanks. Bye. And the computer hangs up. So, and yeah, Squick, you were going to send a message to A?
Hey, is this working? I'm texting that. I haven't used my Cortec much.
With the smiley face emoji at the end.
Yeah. Hey, is this working?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Semicolon, open parentheses.
Yeah, it's working. What do you want?
So, I'm new at this, and mostly people tell me what to do, and I do it, but someone told us to bring the nerve cluster one place, and someone else told me to work with you to bring the nerve cluster somewhere else, and I just don't know. So, like, are we doing that or not? And then I send another default smiley face.
Like separate message as like as A is halfway through typing a message, you just send this smiley face.
Send a passive aggressive LOL back. For those of you that don't know me, actually, that's like my biggest pet peeve. Fucking hate LOL. But anyhow, back to the normal things. Listen, kid, I was gone for a minute, but seems we made it here, and neither of us are in trouble for anything. I think we can assume that what originally was supposed to happen doesn't mean that much anymore. The biggest thing that I've learned is that you just got to look out for yourself. Whatever's going to work for you and for the computer. There's always going to be a catch. If someone tells you to do something, they're always going to root for their own team. So in this situation, what works best for you? What do you want to do?
I want to be with all of you.
All right, then do what you have to do to make that happen.
Okay.
Mom friend moment over.
I think that while everybody else is like in their head, like Squick and A are talking to each other and like Qwerty's talking to the computer, I think Edward out loud is just like, so if you guys want to come to Bible study, it's not really a Bible. It's like more that we like talk to computer, but computer doesn't really talk back to us. And like, I usually bring the snacks, and the snacks are like algae. And it's like, I do this thing with the algae where I like wrap it up so it looks a little bit like a cake, but it's not a cake, it's algae. And usually it's on Tuesdays, but it's not on every third Tuesday because my pastor has to go out fishing.
Dungeons & Drama Nerds is produced by Todd Brian Backus, Percy Hornak, and Nick Orvis, and is mixed and edited by Anthony Sertel Dean. Saving 73 Jpegs I Desperately Need, our Paranoia campaign, is written and GM'd by Ben Ferber and features Todd Brian Backus as Squick RBDE002, Kory Flores as AR Violence 3, Mieko Gavia as Qwerty RABC3, and Romana Isabella as Edward RNRV02. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at DNDramaNerds and on Facebook at Dungeons and Drama Nerds. For cast bios, head to our website, dungeonsanddramanerds.com. Tune in next week for a new commentary episode.